Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel, The Scariest Movie Ever, here on YouTube, and welcome back to the show, KJ's What Happened. It's going to cover the last few days. Some of you guys know I've started doing more of these shows because there's so much stuff coming out. So instead of doing one epic, super long show every week, we'll do a couple shows. And videos still. I'd mentioned this on my last show. For those of you who didn't know, my last 4 or 5 videos have been off YouTube. And now, of course, that I've started going live, Chubbs is playing with the mouse here and pulling it away from me. So let's see if he can stop that and be a good boy for a little bit. There we go. But I did mention I've got other videos off YouTube. Yeah, there's links below. You can find them. You can find some on BitChute, all of them on my website, link below for free. Or you can go to thescariestmovieever.tv and check them out there. I actually just uploaded The Scariest Movie Ever 2020 to thescariestmovieever.tv in 2 parts this week. So it's up there. And also for those of you who are subscribed to that site, I wasn't able to upload my last KJ's What Happened. I wanted to, but YouTube, every downloader I tried, nothing would let me download the show. So I tried, but any show I can actually download, I'll upload up there as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for catching you up on stuff. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you, moderators. Hope you guys are all doing well. Big shout out to my Patreon and PayPal supporters, guys. Thank you so very much. And I've got a lot to show you tonight, and it's going to be a mix. I got some cool UFO videos tonight too. So without further ado, if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and take a look at things. Oh, I also want to give a quick shout out to all of our friends overseas. We have a lot of people who listen to the show. And for some of them, especially in the UK, it's really late at night, like 2 in the morning or something like that. So for those of you who stay up late all over the world and listen to the show and join in the chat, thank you. I really appreciate you. All right, man, let's go ahead and get into it. How's that sound? We got quite a bit to look into, even just for a few days here. First one, election witnesses. Kanye's Michigan votes were stolen by Bo Biden. Why am I not surprised? Guys, let me throw this out there. I've got a few of the election type stories up tonight. I really hope you're not letting your hearts get troubled by all this stuff. The more I look at it and the more I'm watching these trends, and I just kind of looked at the bigger picture, remember that no matter what happens, the New World Order is coming. Even if Trump gets in, he can't hold it all off. And some people would say he's not trying to hold it off. A lot of bad things have come under Trump as well. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. 5G, the vax scheme, of course. He's been light with Monsanto. I think he passed something with Monsanto a while back. I can't remember off the top of my head what the story was. But I remember I didn't like it. So is he clueless about these things? Possibly. Or, is he in on it to a certain degree? I don't know. But look, whatever it is. And if you can go back and forth with that stuff, you'll make yourself go crazy. I wouldn't deal with it. This really is a time to lean on the Lord. It's time for prayer. It's time for understanding and seeing what's really coming. I've got a new video. I was hoping it'd be up on YouTube over the last couple of days. It's not even done yet, man, because so much news is coming out about this New World Order coming. Mainstream news, lots of stuff, man. So I'm just adding to the video. So hopefully it'll be up tomorrow or the next day. I'll have it up here on YouTube for you. And it's got a lot of information in it. I got a lot to show you there. But with the election and everything else, man, like I said, I'm feeling like Trump's going to wind up proving that he won. And when that happens, that's going to completely crack the system. And when I think about that, it makes me think back to Marina Abramovic. You may remember I put a video or a clip of this up in one of my recent videos here on YouTube, where she was talking about these monks that believe in collective dreaming. And once they've all had the same dream, they'll write it down and tell the people. And one of the last dreams they had collectively, each one of them dreamt about this collectively at different times, was about Trump. And the reason Trump's president and everything is because he's meant to wake up the world. Now, that's not making Trump the hero. Remember, God uses different people for different purposes. And there are bad things happening under Trump as well. And then there's definitely more good happening under Trump than under Bo Biden. Obviously, if Bo Biden gets in there, it's New World Order on. Boom. There it is. Okay. Definitely no going back to normal. I don't think there's any going back to normal anyway. We're really seeing the beginnings of this system all the components falling into place. So if Trump can prove he's a president, first off, look at how much it's going to make every mainstream media an obvious liar. It's going to really expose everything to the masses. That's what matters. There's pockets of us and groups of us all around that understand and see. But we're talking about for the masses, the real sheep out there. This is going to be a real breaking point if that happens in a great way. I love it. This is stuff I've been talking about for years. The end of the fourth age, moving into the fifth age, the V, the 5. That's why we see the V symbolism in so many things. The age of Aquarius, the age of Antichrist. But in leaving the age of Pisces, this isn't New Age stuff, okay? It's just I'm explaining. In leaving the age of Pisces, that's when we see all of these old ways falling apart. So we've seen the film industry decimated, movie theaters decimated, news, obviously all fake news on news coming out, news decimated, news systems decimated, political groups, politics in general, crashing, all of it being exposed. And all of it has to crash to come together for that final one world order, of course, right? Bo Jiden, what about this guy? Just unbelievable, right? They're saying he got more votes that have ever been counted in American history. Bo Jiden, you believe that? We know what's going on. We get it. We get it. Kanye started a low-key run for president over the past year, failing to fulfill the many onerous and restrictive ballot access requirements in many states, including Michigan. Michigan requires independent candidates for president to collect 12,000 petition signatures in order to appear on the ballot, a requirement that Kanye did not meet back in July. But many still preferred Kanye and voted for him. Those votes were primarily given to Joe Biden, according to witnesses, who said poll workers joked about it as they physically altered ballots to remove votes from Kanye and instead add them to the Democrat totals. The Secretary of State took these people's vote and changed it. When the write-in is deleted and the mark is made for straight ticket and the party is marked Democrat, all deleted write-in votes become Democrat votes. They were doing this all day, said Robin Mifsund, a GOP poll watcher in Detroit. There you have it. No surprise there, but guys, I mean, this stuff, again, I don't get mad. It doesn't scare me. I'm glad everything's coming out. I'm glad all this stuff's being exposed. I'm glad all the darkness is coming to light. It's a good thing. We want more people to wake up. And I don't mean just wake up to the New World Order and I mean, wake up to Christ, wake up to God, wake up to understanding that this is all spiritual. And this is written about in the Bible a long time ago. We're living in these times right now, and we're watching it all fall into place. So if you're with the Lord, there's nothing to fear, right? We're conquerors through Christ. I got this email this week. I got a couple emails that were real snotty, I thought. One thing is, if you're going to write me, please don't write me and try to tell me how to do my job. Tell me all the things I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I need to correct. I won't even read your whole message. I'll get to the first couple sentences where you're trying to tell me what to do, and I'm done with you. Another thing I don't like, some lady wrote me this week saying, essentially, how can I be a Christian? How can I be a real good guy, but be winning satanic awards for my movie? She was questioning, if I'm even really good, or if I'm, quote, one of them. Look, lady, I wrote you back, lady. Hope you read it, lady. And here's what I told you, lady. Here's what I'll tell everybody else. If you don't understand the basic concept of the Bible on how to judge people, and that's by judging them by their fruits, if you don't have that kind of discernment, I can't help you. I would pray for discernment. Is KJ good or bad? Whatever, however you want to do it. Or just don't watch me at all. But I'm not on trial. You're not Judge Judy. And it really annoys me when people try to put me on trial. I have to operate within the beast system. The fact that my movie is filled with truth and it's winning awards and being seen all around the world is a wonderful, beautiful, great thing. It's a blessing. Hi. Where's your faith, lady? Huh, lady? Have a little faith, lady. All right? Sometimes we win in this world. Sometimes Christians do good things. Sometimes we prosper. Do you think we're all just living in shit since we're Christians in the beast system, that nothing good can ever happen? Gosh, that annoys me. I really get annoyed with that kind of defeatist attitude. Anyway, I'm rambling. AT&T reportedly looking to sell CNN after hit from hating Trump. Good news. I told you, man, it's all collapsing. It's beautiful. AT&T is reportedly trying to sell CNN. I would love it. Get rid of it. Just burn it down. Or just let's try, look, again, we're beyond those discussions of, hey, man, yeah, we'll build something new. We'll start telling the truth. No, man. I mean, these terrors or these enemies of humanity or these goats are showing themselves. I've got it all in my next video. So it'll be up in a couple days, showing you examples of this stuff. It's the headline here. Biden campaign operative, Texas state senator accused of mail-in ballot fraud. I have not seen this anywhere on any of the news sources I look through, even the mainstream news sources. No one's talking about this. Biden campaign operative, Texas state senator accused of mail-in ballot fraud. There you go. Hopefully we'll see more of that. I'd love to see all the people get busted. It's not Republican, Democrat for me. It's just truth. We want to see the truth come out. We want to see liars and frauds be exposed. This is just, it's a tweet. Former FBI agent and Biden staffer has been arrested. Okay, got it. Cool UFO video. Bing bong. This is a really good one. It's one of the best ones I've seen in a while. It's from Albany, New York, November 13th, 2020. Check this out.
Jesus has responded to us. God, Jesus has responded to us.
Strange signs in the skies, huh? In my mind, I always picture one day like this kind of stuff opening up all over the world someday. If that's how it happens, just I could see it happening. It'd be a possibility. And people are ready for it. I mean, people are ready for anything after 2020. It's a part of the psyop. It really is. It's a part of the psyop. People are being made prisoners. They're seeing things happening in the world that no one has ever seen happen before. They're lied to constantly. Fake information about all this stuff. But how about those lights? It's cool, huh? It's interesting. It's interesting. Interesting. Bo Biden's scientific advisor wants strict as possible lockdowns. No surprise. If he's elected, Biden has promised to shut down the country again should experts recommend him to do so. And you know those, quote, experts will, because it's all part of the plan. And that's exactly what one of Biden's scientific advisors is asking for. Dr. Michael Osterholm has joined Biden's special crown virus transition advisory team. Osterholm told reporters Wednesday that he believes there should be a nationwide lockdown for 4 to 6 weeks in order to effectively manage the number of new cases and hospitalizations for the crown virus. We could pay for a package right now to cover all the wages, lost wages for individual workers, for losses to small companies, to medium-sized companies or city, state, county governments, Osterholm said. You know what that is. Here comes your basic income from the government every month. That never lasts. This system they're talking about doesn't last, won't last. Osterholm has repeatedly called for lockdowns or stricter measures to ensure they are properly enforced. The problem with the March to May lockdown was that it was not uniformly stringent across the country. For example, Minnesota deemed 78% of its workers essential. To be effective, the lockdown has to be comprehensive and strict as possible, he urged. All right, we already know where that's going. We already know where that. There's Bo Biden. What do you guys think about this one? This has been a story I've seen circulating in the last few days. It's from Elon Musk. He tweeted, something extremely bogus is going on. Was tested for COVID 4 times today. 2 tests came back negative. 2 came back positive. Same machine, same test, same nurse. Rapid antigen test from BD. So do you think he's telling the truth? Do you think he actually had all the tests? Is he just egging all this on because he's, quote, one of them and understands what's coming, what's happening? You decide. Get some UFO videos now. Pretty cool in here. It's just happened over a volcano. And I wish I could see which volcano, but it doesn't say. Oh, there it is. Popocatépetl. If I know I pronounced that wrong, but I think this is the same volcano that about 5 or 6 years ago, they recorded a massive cylinder or cigar-shaped UFO going into it. And I think those are called the Velixi. But you ever see that footage from several years ago of a volcano? It was a CCTV, something like this. And they actually filmed a massive cigar-shaped UFO going into a volcano. I think it was this volcano. I'll have to look that up later. I've never believed in the flat earth thing, but I could be a believer in the hollow earth theory. And when I see the UFO activity around volcanoes, or especially when I see them going into and coming out of volcanoes, it really makes me wonder. The hollow earth theory. You guys ever heard about all that? I'm sure you have. Look it up if you haven't heard of it. The Nazis were really big into that as well. No, I'm not one of them. I'm just interested in the hollow earth theory. Here's another UFO. This is from France. Wait, this isn't a UFO. Alien, says real alien caught on camera in France. All right, let's check this out.
Putain. Putain. Il est mignon, lui. Ouais, il est un peu gros, le chat. J'aime pas ça. Ouais, je vais me barrer. Oh, non, bah, il y a un... Non, c'est le fils de Dieu.
Pourquoi t'as laissé tomber la torche?
Pour éclairer, putain.
You see that? Watch. I think he does a close up here. The right hand side. There, you can see it easier on the right, it looks like. Seriously, it looks like something's there. Let's see if there's a close up here. Maybe there's a slow up. A slow up. Maybe there's a slow motion here. Right hand side. It's pretty clear. See it? Is that an orb behind it? Looked like a little orb shows up too, huh? Yeah, a little orb just showed up. There's the orb. A demonic little orb. Maybe that orb's about to shift into one of those things. All right, I think that's about it. UFO East Coast from Terry's Theories, November 15th, 2 days ago. Terry's Theories UFO sightings, cool UFO channel. If you guys are looking for one, it's another one that doesn't have many subs, but check him out. He's pretty consistent. I don't think there's any real sound on here, so we'll kind of watch together. It's about to kick in, I think.
At first, I thought they were looking from inside of a window. If you notice right here or right there, they're under some kind of garage.
There it is. Okay, I thought it'd be longer.
They're not inside looking out of a window. I know there's no sound.
We've seen some stuff like this too.
Unless this is a fake CGI or an app, I don't believe that it is a reflection. And so I found.
It reminds me, I think there was one, I think it was in Virginia. The girl had parked on the side of the road and filmed above a shopping center, and it looked like the war in heaven, the wars in the heavens. I mean, all these different lights streaking at each other and going back and forth. It was crazy. Some dum-dums were saying it was a reflection of car lights off of her window. I just can't. That didn't even make sense, that theory. But it was one of the most interesting bits of footage I've seen in a while. Cool. I think this is a good one here too. This is gonna. Here you go. Check this out.
Is it moving?
Yes, it moved from the top of the pine tree to where it is now.
Look at that. It looks like something swinging off the bottom.
I'm gonna lose it here in a minute because I can't.
Way up there.
Oh, it's going up further. Oh, it's splitting. 3, 5.
Yeah, we've seen them do this a lot, haven't we?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
I see that. Yeah, what the hell's going on there?
It's a UFO. I told you it wasn't a star.
Yeah, I see it clearly here.
Yes.
Yeah, one piece is coming
Yes.
down from it.
Yes. It split into a whole bunch of pieces.
I saw that.
It's still splitting into pieces. My heart is racing 1,000 miles a second here. There's so much sand in the skies right now. It's making me very nervous.
Yeah, that was pretty odd there.
That was.
I got it all too.
There you go. Interesting, huh? Good capture. Familiar, though. We've seen that with a lot of these orbs doing that kind of a thing. Here's another one from Terry's Theories. The serpent UFO. Serpents in the sky.
Oh, what the hell? That is interesting right there. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Let's see here. It just separated here. Tell you what the bottom.
So it's very peculiar, you know.
Another good capture. Oops. Futuristic audio device puts music in your head by beaming sound directly to the listener without the need for headphones. Oh boy. I did a video on a possible Project Bluebeam way back in 2012. And even back then, I can't remember the channel, maybe it was FX or Sci-Fi or something, had developed this billboard that when you walked by and hit a certain area, it would shoot a soundtrack to your ears, like something scary. It seems like they were advertising a scary movie or something. You guys can look this up. But as you walked by that billboard, it would shoot the sound around your ears, and you would hear it. It was really crazy. So we know this type of technology has been around for a long time. An Israeli technology firm has debuted a new desktop device that beams sound directly to a listener without the need for headphones, like a personal sound bubble. Soundbeamer 1.0 from Noveto locates and tracks the user's ear position, sending audio waves to create small pockets of sound waves. The tech will allow office workers to listen to music or conference calls without interrupting colleagues and let anyone play a game, film, or music minus headphones without it being heard by anyone else in the vicinity. How about that? The desktop device, which can be paired to a device via Bluetooth, will be ready for consumers to buy in time for Christmas next year. Wow, it's coming fast. Yeah, I was thinking about, what was I thinking about today? I had to go to the grocery store. I just grabbed a couple items. I did a self-checkout, had that stupid mask on. And you know, I showed y'all a story on here a few months ago where they're saying that they got facial recognition technology that it can just, you know, do it off of your eyes. It doesn't even need your mouth or nose. So they've made something like that for the mask. And when you're doing a self-checkout, it's sitting and looking right at you. Like it's got a camera right on you, and it's recording you with your mask on. And also, whenever you pay for whatever you have to, if you're not paying with cash, it gets all of your information. It gets your address and everything else. So it's another way, really, that, you know, we're all being kind of watched and put into this system one way or another, isn't it? Lawyers can't find families of 666 migrant kids taken from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border by the Trump administration, 100 more than first thought. Lawyers can't find the families of 666 migrant kids taken from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border by the Trump administration. I'm looking for 33s in this story. So we got the obvious 666. Still looking. Usually we'll find that kind of confirmation. Sometimes. I'm not seeing any other 33s. 666 was interesting, I thought. The American Civil Liberties Union said in October that parents of 545 children had still not been located more than 2 years after being separated by Trump's zero tolerance policy. Now, again, I don't know if it's true or not, this news. You'd have to look it up. Multiple sources. It's hard to tell these days. But Stephen Herzog, the attorney leading efforts to reunite the families, revealed the number of separated children for whom they have not been able to locate parents is even greater. Herzog sent an email to the Justice Department attorneys representing Trump administration saying that 666 children. Oops, what's that? All right. There you go. Oregon becomes the first state to decriminalize hard drugs like heroin and cocaine. Right in the middle of the first time in history we've had a worldwide lockdown, more or less. A worldwide so-called pandemic that has a 99.9% survival rate, but it's treated as if it's the end of the world and everybody's sick and everybody's dying. And we know suicide's on the rise. We've seen stories on here about that. Despair on the rise. So now let's start legalizing all of the hard drugs like heroin and cocaine. Why not? What could go wrong? It's throwing a match on kerosene, isn't it? Oklahoma elects first Muslim non-binary state legislator. Okay. Chair of the Federal Election Commission drops bombshell announcement. The chairman of the Federal Election Commission went on record with one of what us media types like to call a bombshell announcement. In this case, it really is explosive. The top boss of all election officials, Trey Traynor, confirms that in his professional opinion, this election is illegitimate. Trey Traynor, who serves as chairman for the FEC, is personally convinced that, from what he's seen in Pennsylvania and reports he's been getting from elsewhere in the country, this election is illegitimate. He dropped a bombshell on the news media during an appearance at Newsmax when he made the announcement that he believes there is voter fraud taking place in these places. I told you, we'll see how it works out. Maybe the tide's changing. Oh, but KJ, they're all a part of the same. We get it, dude. We understand. But at this point, out of the choices we're given, I would rather take a Trump. I feel it's just a little more time to hopefully get more souls to choose Christ, to get more people to turn their lives over and really get to know their Creator by accepting His Son sacrifice, through the Son to the Father. That's what this time's for. It's not even just for us. We already got it. We're awake. We get it. And we're with the Lord. But we can't forget about all the others. And like we just saw that story on them decriminalizing drugs, and we know depression's on the rise and despair and people taking their lives. This isn't cool. We can't sit back and just pray about them. Lord will take care of it. You got to get involved in these days. And I don't know what that means for you, but if I were you, I'd pray about it. Say, Lord, how can I fight in this time? What can I do to help? And that's a problem always has been with the idea of the harpazo, or the catching away, the rapture. I've always said I pray for both, but I'm prepared for worst case scenario. And I've been preparing for the last year, just getting ready for if the grid goes down, internet goes out, whatever it is. If grid goes down, everything shuts down because everything's connected to a computer. So there goes your stores, your grocery stores, your gas stations. See what I mean? And I don't know if that's going to happen, but anything can happen. I mean, we're entering some really dangerous times. So I try to stay prepared for everything. But, some people with this idea of rapture just kind of become lazy Christians. They sit back and think, we're going to get out of here anyway pretty soon. Let's just ride this out. But if you can fight in these days, fight against evil somehow, expose evil somehow, stand up somehow, you should do it in a peaceful way, in a good way where you're spiritually led to do it, Why not? Got to fight for something or you'll fall for anything. Nancy Pelosi's chief of staff is chief executive, and Feinstein's husband, a major shareholder at Dominion Ballot Counting Systems. Yeah. Gotta love it.
Trump's legal team in contesting this election. Sydney, we talked about the Dominion software. I know that there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that.
That's to put it mildly. The computer glitches could not and should not have happened at all. That is where the fraud took place, where they were flipping votes in the computer system or adding votes that did not exist. We need an audit of all of the computer systems that played any role in this fraud whatsoever. And, Joe Biden had it right. He said that he had the biggest voter fraud organization ever, and he didn't need people's votes now. He would need people later. They had this all planned, Maria. They had the algorithms. They had the paper ballots waiting to be inserted if and when needed. And notably, President Trump's vote in the blue states went up enormously. That's when they had to stop the vote count and go in and replace votes for Biden and take away Trump votes.
I've never seen voting machines stop in the middle of an election, stop down and assess the situation. I also see reports that Nancy Pelosi's longtime chief of staff is a key executive at that company. Richard Blum, Senator Feinstein's husband, significant shareholder of the company. What can you tell us about the interest on the other side of this Dominion software?
Well, obviously, they have invested in it for their own reasons and are using it to commit this fraud to steal votes. I think they've even stolen them from other Democrats in their own party who should be outraged about this also. Bernie Sanders might very well have been the Democratic candidate, but they've stolen against whoever they wanted to steal it from.
Sydney, these are...
Womp. There it is. Breaking, Michigan House member files to impeach Governor Gretchen Whitmer. I love it. It'd be great. Wouldn't it be nice to see this broad impeached? Just a little Nazi, isn't she? State Rep Matt Maddock, who is well known in Michigan as a pro-Trump conservative, announced tonight that he is filing the paperwork in Michigan House to start the impeachment proceedings against Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer. And rumors swirl that another Whitmer Michigan shutdown, is looming, perhaps starting on November 18th and lasting 3 weeks. A rumor that she would shut down the state on Friday came and went, though Whitmer had a very odd press conference where Whitmer and her advisors scolded family members not to hug on Thanksgiving. These people just love power, you see? Monsters, a lot of them. These people who are abusing their power. They love it. You better not be hugging your family members on Thanksgiving. Cease and desist order to journalist demanding he erase his Detroit leaks videos showing voter fraud training or face criminal prosecution. Of course, they're fighting it now. Look at this. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel sent a cease and desist letter to Big League Politics about their exclusive content Detroit leaks that outlined poll worker training wherein workers were bragging about committing voter fraud in a variety of different ways. The intrepid reporter who broke this story, Shane Trejo, was also one who was a witness for the fraud in Detroit. Trejo says he considers this witness intimidation and is fearful that it will be used as a pretext for some criminal actions. In the shocking letter dated October 28th, the Michigan Attorney General cites 2 to 3 factual errors in the bulk of Trejo's reporting and demands on behalf of the Michigan government to take every single article related to Detroit leaks off the internet. There you go. Monsters, a lot of them. Joe Biden Crown virus advisor Dr. Zeke Emanuel once argued it's not worth living past 75, despite the president-elect being 77, and suggested only, quote, younger people who are yet to live a complete life should get a vaccine in a flu pandemic. Of course. More monsters. That's what he's going to have in the office if he gets it. It's just going to be a bunch of monsters. It'll be NWO accelerated. Brits consider criminalizing dinner talk or dinner table talk. Only weeks ago, Scotland's justice minister said he intends to clamp down on hate speech in private homes under a new bill that critics warn about or warn could make possessing the Bible a crime. Now a similar plan is developing in England and Wales. Of course it is. It's a spreading, right? The Law Commission, in a 540-page government document, has disclosed plans to lower the threshold for hate crimes, including criminalizing so-called hate speech in private dwellings. Did you catch that? Criminalizing so-called hate speech in private dwellings, in your home. They want access to you. They want to get their hands on you. They want to inject things into you. The Scottish government has drawn criticism from all corners for its sinister hate crime legislation, but the Law Commission for England and Wales appears to have paid no notice. Restricting free speech and policing acceptable and unacceptable views creates division and resentment, which is exactly what they want. The government would do well to ignore this report, Kelly said. Sure. Yep. You may have heard about this Ticketmaster story. Part of it is in my newest video, but now they're trying to say, no, Ticketmaster won't require concert goers to be tested for COVID or vaccinated for future events. But they go on to not even really say that here. Ticketmaster has issued a response regarding Billboard's report that concert goers would have to verify that they've been vaccinated or tested negative for the virus before attending a live show. In an email to EW Scripts, Ticketmaster said there is no requirement coming from them about mandating vax schemes or testing for future events. But in the original report, Billboard reported that the ticket selling company would set up a way for consumers or for customers' C-19 test results to be sent to third-party health companies. Yeah. And through its digital app, Ticketmaster would tie those test results or vaccination status to a ticket digitally that'd be used to enter events. I mean, that's what they're doing. Ticketmaster explained that it is up to the event organizers to set policies around safety and entry requirements. Right, because everybody's doing this. It's like all these little companies and groups are looking for another reason to be a little dictator and take away people's basic rights. Oh, what the heck? All right. What was that? Well, I guess I can't see that story. Let's see this one. Man dressed as giant rat takes subway mask requirement to new heights. Let me see if we can watch this video. We have to pause this. Oh, there we go. Might as well, right? Honk, honk. You got to wear a mask. Might as well be creative. Yeah, that's not creepy at all, is it? What the? Let's see what's going on here. See if we can't get this story. There it is. Police hunt Pittsburgh portable toilet bomber. You guys heard about this? 2 toilets have been attacked in the past week, with the most recent being on Tuesday morning in the city's north side. Police said the explosion happened overnight and a construction worker arrived at work to find the toilet destroyed. When police arrived at the scene later in the morning, they found evidence of an explosive device having gone off. There were no injuries. Public safety assistant spokesperson says, "We got pretty blessed and pretty lucky that no one was injured." All right, mysterious toilet bomber out there in Pittsburgh. Oh, what the? Come on. All right. There we go. I don't know what that is. World Economic Forum deletes video on the global reset, telling the world you'll own nothing and be happy. I got some of this in my new video too, but if you haven't seen this, we'll watch it here real quick, too. Check it out. 8 predictions for the world. This is about Agenda 2030. Okay, and it's a New World Order agenda. So let's see how they're going to try to sell it to the public. Obviously, it didn't go over very well because they've removed it now. There's such a backlash after people seeing this. But if we're even actually around at this point, you're not going to get to partake in any of that cool new medical, any of the cool new medical systems or anything else if you don't have your mark, right? Your chip. If we even make it to 2030. Anyway, this is in my video. You'll see it tomorrow or the next day. Oh. Something about VidMax. A report 19 months ago warned of Dominion machines and claimed swing states were purchasing anyways. Let's check this out.
We have some really serious issues here. We are being asked to buy new voting machines.
An expensive voting machine with a very serious security flaw is being purchased across the country. And in one county where we investigated, members of the public are wondering what's behind the deal. The voting machine is called the Image Cast Evolution, or ICE machine. It's made by Dominion.
The Dominion Voting Image Cast Evolution, or ICE, is an all-in-one accessible paper-based voting system.
This Image Cast Evolution voting machine has the physical ability to mark votes onto the ballot after the last time the voter sees the ballot. And that's a disaster if we lose the ability to trust that the paper trail really represents what the voter intended.
Andrew Appel is a professor of computer science at Princeton University.
My research is in software verification and election machinery.
He's an election security expert who has testified before Congress and been featured in Politico magazine.
Image cast evolution, where it's used in the United States. New Mexico in 2013, Ohio and Tennessee in 2013, California, Florida, Minnesota, Virginia, and Wisconsin in 2016.
The machine is a combination ballot marking device and optical scanner. According to information on the company's website, the voting machine is the only optical scan tabulator using a single ballot paper pad. That means it's a printer and a scanner in one.
If the machine is hacked, then they can install software that marks votes on the ballot after the voter last saw it. And if the piece of paper can be marked by the computer after the last time the voter saw it, and the whole paper trail is compromised.
Security experts do not believe that the ICE machine is the only voting machine being sold with the ability to add votes to paper ballots. Appel and other computer scientists believe that two versions of the Express Vote, a ballot marking device by another company, ES&S, have the same capability. That machine has already been purchased by half a dozen states, sometimes, like in Philadelphia, over strong community opposition against expert advice.
These barcodes go against the recommendation of the Blue Ribbon Commission on Pennsylvania's election security.
And with indications that there were conflicts of interest in the procurement process.
There were many issues in this process that are troubling.
6 swing states have now purchased voting machines that security experts say have this problem, including the critical states of Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. In New York, the purchase of hybrid voting equipment could be moving forward rapidly. The Board of Elections of New York City, serving over 4.5 million registered voters, requested permission to fast-track purchase of these machines, bypass state certification, and start using the Express Vote XL in its upcoming 2019 elections. And although the state said no to bypassing certification, the machine is still under consideration for use. Just north of the city, another of New York's largest counties, Westchester, is also taking a look.
Our current machines have deteriorated.
Anticipating spending $6 million on the acquisition. At a Board of Legislators meeting in February, the sales rep from Dominion demonstrated how the machine worked and answered questions.
My name is Gio Costantello, and I'm here to present the ICE machine.
But Professor Appel disagreed with many of the Dominion vendors' claims.
Can you hack into the machines we have now?
No.
Any voting machine can be hacked. To hack into the voting machine company, all it takes is one person clicking on the wrong email, and now the adversary is into the network and can steal cryptographic keys to install software in voting machines. Then that voting machine cheats for the rest of the time without you having to touch it.
Appel disagreed that the machines were faster.
We're not printing the ballots, we're only marking it. It's a matter of seconds.
But it still takes quite a few minutes for a voter to use the ballot marking device feature. And during that time, on this machine, you can have other voters feed their pen-marked ballots through the machine.
He disagreed that they were less expensive.
This machine accommodates both of those functions in one self-contained machine, much more cost-effectively.
The price quoted in the Westchester County meeting for these machines was $14,000 each. You can buy an optical scan voting machine for $4,000 or $5,000, and you can buy a ballot marking device for $4,000 or $5,000. It's not a savings. This machine is more insecure and much more expensive than standard ways of counting optical scan ballots.
In New York,
Dominion. Oh, yeah, it's VidMax is acting up. Jiden's Crown Virus Task Force members suggest refusing food stamps and housing assistance to those refusing the vaccination. That vaccination. Let's check this out.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black, and you ain't black. If you have a problem.
Okay, that's not the video at all. Okay. Well, so much for that one. Clickbait. Here's a classic video. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one. It's the exploding well. It's the 50th anniversary of the exploding well, and they've remastered it. So check this out. Maybe you've seen this before. Or not, but it's cool.
It had to be said, the Oregon State Highway Division not only had a whale of a problem on its hands, it had a stinking whale of a problem. What to do with one 45-foot, 8-ton whale dead on arrival at the beach near Florence? It had been so long since a whale had washed up in Lane County, nobody could remember how to get rid of one. In selecting its battle plan, the Highway Division decided the carcass couldn't be buried because it might soon be uncovered. It couldn't be cut up and then buried because nobody wanted to cut it up, and it couldn't be burned. So dynamite it was, some 20 cases or a half-ton of it. The hope was that the long-dead Pacific gray whale would be almost disintegrated by the blast, and that any small pieces still around after the explosion would be taken care of by seagulls and other scavengers. Indeed, the seagulls had been standing nearby all day. As everything was being made ready, we asked George Thornton, the highway engineer in charge of the project, for his residents who had first found the whale to be an object of curiosity before they tired of its smell. You get a while?
The exploding well, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Still big, huge chunks falling from the sky.
The camera stopped rolling immediately after the blast.
This is just a really crazy video I stumbled on this week, and it's a little different. It's kind of crazy, kind of fun. Look what these two girls do on these street boards here. This is nuts. I got to keep the volume down because they got some song playing on there, but look at this, man. Just with tank tops on, not a lot of protection. At least they got their helmets on. But this gets going really crazy here in a little bit. It's cool footage too. Over there. Wow. How do you stop those things? Is it like a regular skateboard? I guess so. You probably just sit back on the back of it. Would you ever do anything like that? What are those things they do in the Olympics? It's like the sleds or toboggans or whatever, and they'll race. It looks like on a kind of a big pipe. Those things get going really fast. I'd do something like that probably, but this, okay, there you go. She's got sparks coming off her gloves, so it must have some kind of metal protection on there. I guess that's how they do it. And she was riding it kind of sideways there and using her hand. Dang, man, I wonder how fast that is. Let's see if we'll jump ahead a little. Cool scenery too out there. Whoa, okay, there you go. That's how they do it. Crazy, huh? Thought that was cool. Lisa Peters, Raw Run Alicante 2.0. It's an older video, but I thought it was good. This is pretty classic. It's short, but it's pretty classic. This is from Courtney Love, the woman that most likely ended Kurt Cobain's life. But still, with a bit of wisdom, a good message here.
Central. Do you have any advice for a young girl moving to Hollywood? I'll get lively. Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party and 4 seasons stuff.
There it is.
I'll get lively. Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party and 4 seasons stuff.
That was from what, 2005? Wow. Now is the time to do more. Governor Stitt implements new C-19 restrictions on restaurants and bars. This is in my home state of Oklahoma. where I was born and raised. Left as soon as I could. Stayed away. Not that there's anything wrong with Oklahoma. I just, I was always a gypsy, and I traveled around a lot, did a lot of stuff in my life. Came back a few years ago after living in Central America. But I remember when this story just came out this week on the news, and they'll have the little ticker tape below it, and the ticker tape had that number they always use, especially it's in relation to everything, but it's been in relation to this crown virus as well, the 33. I'll find it here. It's in here somewhere. Here it is. In addition to the new regulations on bars and restaurants, Stitt says he is also implementing a mask mandate for state employees and those visiting state buildings. This order applies to 33,000 employees. So I don't know. It's just the way I think sometimes. Not sure if I'm right or wrong, but Stitt's been really good about fighting off a lot of this mania, but it seems like a lot of these governors and senators who have been more to the right on all this are starting to switch course, because maybe some of them are starting to think that Biden's got it, and they're afraid of the blowback, perhaps, from Biden. So that'll be another one of those issues, of course. If Biden gets it, a lot of people are going to easily bend a knee, right? Because he's going to be in charge. He'll be the suit. But how that goes. It's the people behind them are truly the most evil people in the world. The people behind most of these people, the people behind all of this, have been setting this up, who are pushing it forward now. Illuminati, different secret societies, and a culmination of them. All wicked people, all Luciferian. HHS spends hundreds of thousands funding study of non-heterosexual women who drink and use Facebook. Makes sense. Between the years of 2018 and 2020, the National Institutes of Health, a division of the Department of Health and Human Services, funneled $210,000 to a research group at Loyola Marymount University in LA, Los Angeles, California, whose aim was to examine an innovative, gamified, personalized, normative feedback intervention to reduce drinking among members of a local sexual minority women community found to frequent Facebook. If that makes any sense. But just more waste. More government waste, money. Christine Kane, churches have replaced prayer with smoke machines and coolness. Bible teacher Christine Kane condemned the modern church for placing its focus on being cool instead of holiness, and warned that unless the body of Christ returns to a focus on righteousness, joy, and peace, revival will never happen. Kane, best-selling author and founder of the A21 campaign, on Wednesday participated in a 2020 Q&A virtual town hall event focused on the topics of prayer and revival. Opening the session, the Australian speaker and author lamented that because the church has gotten so scared of emotionalism, prayer has gone to the basement with the grandmothers. That's where we put it. And I'm on a campaign to pull prayer out of the basement and put it on the pulpit and put it front and center, she declared. We got a bit embarrassed because in our coolness, in between our skinny jeans and tattoos, beautiful light section and camera, we thought, prayer is not cool. Prayer is embarrassing. A smoke machine will do the job. And what we've discovered in smoke machines haven't saved anyone. Look at the mess that this world's in. Instead of being in the world and not of it, we became of it, and we're no longer in it. And so the challenge is then that you've got no power, and power comes through intercessory prayer. Give me 1 second. I need to check something out here. Okay, there we go. Somebody's blowing me up over on Discord, and I can't open it up and look. I don't have my second small computer in the back making sure the show's not being cut off, so I hope the show's still running. Hope someone's not trying to reach me on Discord to tell me it's off. I don't think so. We're just going to go with it for now. I think it's still going. Over 88,000 sex abuse claims filed against Boy Scouts of America. No surprise there. 4 or 5 years ago, remember there was this big push to open up the Boy Scouts to trans children and also to homosexual Boy Scout leaders. It's a big deal. Excuse me. And that happened under the Obama administration. The first gay president, they say. But that was a big push, big thing. And there's people in the streets celebrating. And finally, now, just a few years later, over 88,000 sex abuse claims filed against Boy Scouts of America. I mean, they destroyed the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts. They really did. Sex abuse claims against the Boy Scouts of America have now surpassed 88,000. Christopher Hurley, the managing partner with a law firm representing 4,000 survivors of childhood sexual abuse who say they were victimized while participating in the Boy Scouts, said in a statement to the Christian Post that there are over 88,500 victims that have come forward as of Monday. Wow. There you go. It's part of that of dismantling of America and American ideas. But even deeper than that, it was an attack on innocence, on purity. Melissa McCarthy apologizes for backing anti-abortion group in charity drive. We blew it. I'll get another story on this down here. We'll find it in a second. Fox News anchor blows up on Trump spokeswoman. Just Fox News finally fully showing what they actually are, which is great. Let them burn, as I say. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we'll watch this clip.
Happen with those 700,000 votes? The ballots are already mixed in. Do you just want 700,000 votes deducted
We
from
want to
Biden's
make sure
total?
that conversation happens. You're trying to say this is done and over.
I'm not. I'm not saying it's done and over. I'm asking you where you're going to find the votes to pull ahead. Where are the votes to pull ahead?
Forward. This is now my third time to try to get this answer out. The legal path ahead exists here because there are clear constitutional violations that have keep snarking, making your faces and rolling your eyes, Leland.
Take me through.
I get it. You guys spent years trying to run up a Russia hoax against the president.
It's very simple.
And trying to say this is over.
How does the president?
And hypocrisy continues because you know what?
How does the president
don't concede to Joe Biden?
What do you want to have happen to the 700,000 votes?
That this is over for us. It's ridiculous.
What do you want to have?
What happens to the 7? What
do you want to have happen to the votes?
Decide, Leland.
Okay.
That is up for the court to decide. But we should be able to have the conversation about those votes when you're trying to say this is done and over.
No, nobody's trying to say that. I'm just simply asking you.
You guys keep calling about President-elect. It sounds
I don't know
like
who you. I don't know who you guys are. Okay, you and I are trying to have a conversation with you. And
I'm Aaron Perini.
I'm trying to ask
the President of the United States.
I'm trying to ask you very simply. Where are you going to find the votes? You say we want to count every vote, conceivably because you think that means you're going to pull ahead. Where are the votes in a path to 270? Where?
We are taking every legal avenue that exists in these states to make sure that legal votes are counted and illegal votes are counted. Here's a question for you, Leland. For every Democrat and every talking head on the news, how much fraud is okay? How many dead people can vote and you're okay with that? How many ballots are run through a machine multiple times and you're okay with that? No, it's a serious question. We want to protect election integrity in the United States. And we said for months that we wanted to make sure every legal vote was counted and every illegal vote was not counted.
Who are you lumping everybody together with, Aaron? You
Let's
guys? Really?
The media?
The media in general. So now it's just you just attack everybody if they don't agree with you. Okay.
No, that's not much. Doing not much else to say.
Aaron,
facts here, and I'm sorry that's
Aaron, we
not
understand where you want to go with this. Thank you. We appreciate your time, Jillian.
And that's Trump's campaign legal secretary, or what? It's Trump's spokeswoman. Sorry, but trying to explain the legal strategy, and you see the way this guy treats her. The death knell for Fox was when they sold out to Disney. That was about a year and a half ago. And within a month, they put Donna Brazile on there. And then they started filling up the channel more and more with more so-called Democrats, more just leftists, and with that kind of ideology. And it's been obvious to a lot of us for a long time. And I've always been careful with Fox News. I mean, of course, it's set up to be the only one that's not to the left, but we know it has its own issues. Remember how pro-war it was during Bush? Super pro-war, pushing it all the time. So it's had its issues, but now it's just full on, like it's just like all the others, basically, for the most part. There's a couple people on there I'll still watch from time to time, but I'm not, wearing their T-shirts or their hats or anything. I'm not like some crazy fanboy here. But, if you use, and I always say this, your logic, reason, common sense, critical thinking, and most importantly, your spiritual discernment, using the Holy Spirit within, You can find the truth no matter what source. You can find real information, real truthful information. You don't have to trust the person telling you, but you can discern it, But it's a process and you have to use it. A lot of people don't. Like that lady that wrote me saying, "Are you sure you're good? Because you're winning satanic awards." It's ignorant. It's ignorant. Humanist group sues Oklahoma school district for allowing missionaries to teach students about Christianity. How dare they? Can't believe these people. The American Humanist Association, along with an unidentified couple and their 5-year-old daughter, have filed suit against a public school district in Oklahoma for allowing Christian missionaries to teach a monthly class to pre-K through 8th grade students. According to the lawsuit, a class simply called Missionaries have been held once a month at Marietta Public School with the knowledge of the Marietta Public School District. The class was placed on the school calendar and in email announcements. During the session, 3 men sang songs and played games with the children while teaching the students about the Bible. The plaintiff parents state that their daughter was subjected to the classes without their foreknowledge and without the ability to opt out. The parents identify as humanists and are raising their daughter accordingly. The legal challenge states using the names Jane and Jill as aliases that after the mother picked the child up from school in September 2019, the girl asked on the ride home, "Mom, is God real?" When Jane asked Jill what it was that prompted her to ask such a question, Jill said that these people came and sang songs and told us a story about God and how he's real, it outlines. The girl later told her parents that she didn't want to get in trouble, so she pretended to believe in God at school, which made her distraught. She soon advised a 5-year-old child, guys. Parents, shame on you. Look what you're doing to your kids when you do this. Shame on you. Shame on you. She soon advised that she did not wish to participate in the class anymore. When the girl's father addressed Superintendent Lori Means about the matter, he was reportedly advised that the class was for the purposes of character education, but also informed that he could opt out of the girl via a note to her teacher. While the girl's mother provided a note requesting that her child be allowed to skip the class if she chooses, the lawsuit states that because the volunteer teacher's assistant was not present during the next missionaries class, the girl could not sit out participation that day. The child thus relayed the information to her mother, tattletale, after being picked up from school, who in turn contacted the American Humanist Association for assistance. And there you go. And you know where that goes. Boop, boop. Lesbian feminist won't consume art by men. Says women should eliminate men from their minds. There's the lady right there. Says women should eliminate men from their minds. A feminist who's in a relationship with another woman is stirring controversy after stating in her book, The Lesbian Genius, that women should eliminate men from their minds, outlining that she personally no longer consumes entertainment created by men as it's the extension of a system of domination. I feel bad for people who are trapped like this, and these kind of thoughts. I do. Constant victimization, constant fear. Programmed. This person has perfectly been programmed by the beast. Ruh-roh. What's going on here? Hey, come on, YouTube.
19th century, the heads of the biggest...
We'll play some of this because this has just happened. Josh Hawley uncovers secret Facebook content monitoring. You know, these goobers from Facebook and Twitter were called back on the Hill, and they had to talk to the senators again. And see, it's another thing. It kind of annoys me. Again, I know Trump's just one person, but it's like they should have really gone after these people a long time ago. They really should have done something about all this censorship on social media a long time ago. Because look at now. It really is. It was perfectly set up for just such a time as this. Because now look at what they're doing. Anytime you put out any counter information to the BS they're trying to feed us, you're blocked, you're removed, whatever, right? It's nonstop. So these guys, they're a little late to the party. I wish they'd hurry up and actually do something. I'd love to see these jerks actually get punished for this stuff. But it's the Antichrist spirit. What you going to do? Anyway, we'll play some of this. It's interesting.
Biggest corporations in America, the robber barons, got together
And they set rates, they set prices, they determined how they would control information flow, they determined how they get rid of competition. And I'll be darned if we aren't right back there again. Except for this time, you're the robber barons. Your companies are the most powerful companies in the world. And I want to talk about how you're coordinating together to control information. In recent days, my office was contacted by a Facebook whistleblower, a former employee of the company with direct knowledge of the company's content moderation practices. And I want to start by talking about an internal platform called Tasks that Facebook uses to coordinate projects, including censorship. The Tasks platform allows Facebook employees to communicate about projects they're working on together. That includes Facebook's censorship teams, including the so-called community well-being team, the integrity team, and the hate speech engineering team, who all use the Task platform to discuss which individuals or hashtags or websites to ban. Now, Mr. Zuckerberg, you're familiar with the Task platform, aren't you?
Senator, we use the task system for, I think it's, as you say, for people coordinating all kinds of work across the company, although I'm not sure if I'd agree with the characterization specifically around content moderation that you gave.
Well, let's get into that. And let me see if we can refresh your memory and provide folks at home watching with an example. Here over my shoulder is an example. It's a screenshot of the Task platform in use. You'll notice if the cameras zoom in, several references to election integrity throughout on these lists of tasks. Again, this is shared across Facebook's sites, company locations, by working groups. What particularly intrigued me is that the platform reflects censorship input from Google and Twitter as well. So Facebook, as I understand it, Facebook censorship teams communicate with their counterparts at Twitter and Google and then enter those company suggestions for censorship onto the Task platform so that Facebook can then follow up with them and effectively coordinate their censorship efforts. Mr. Zuckerberg, let me just ask you directly, under oath now, does Facebook coordinate its content moderation policies or efforts in any way with Google or Twitter?
Senator, let me be clear about this. We do coordinate on and share signals on security related topics. So for example, if there is signal around a terrorist attack or around child exploitation imagery or around a foreign government creating an influence operation, that is an area where the companies do share signals about what they see. But I think it's important to be very clear that that is distinct from the content moderation policies that we or the other companies have, where once we share intelligence or signals between the companies, each company makes its own assessment of the right way to address and deal with that information.
Well, I'm talking about content moderation. I'm talking about individuals, websites, hashtags, phrases to ban. Is it your testimony that you do not communicate with Twitter or Google about content moderation, about individuals, websites, phrases, hashtags to ban? Just yes or no. Do you communicate with Twitter or Google about coordinating your policies in this way?
Senator, we do not coordinate our policies.
Do your Facebook content moderation teams communicate with their counterparts at Twitter or Google?
Senator, I'm not aware of anything specific, but I think it would be probably.
That's a good question, because we've seen obvious evidence of collusion with a lot of these social media companies. How many times have you seen a channel get removed from YouTube, and then within a couple of weeks, their Patreon kicks them off too, and then they're suddenly removed from Facebook and all these other ones? We've seen it before. SGT report comes to mind. If you guys remember Sean, I think he's still up on BitChute. I'm sure he's other places as well, probably Parlay, some of these other spots. I would check him out. But he got hit. He got a double hit, man. And that was just about a month ago or so. He's one of the guys that got wiped out with like Amazing Polly and X22 report. I mean, just a ton of others, though. I showed you guys a list here, but all right, man. Enough of this alien. Abortion providers in both America and England are scrubbing the names of their female founders to hide a hideous past of racism and eugenics. Yeah, I've covered this, their history. In fact, the connection with witchcraft. I did a video on my KG Osborne channel about that. The woman who started PP here in America was a racist named Margaret Sanger, and she started PP with the target of exterminating the black race. Did you know that, guys? Some of you did. Some of you didn't. That's true stuff right there. That's real solid information. Something to think about. The project she started was aptly called the Negro Project, Negro Project, and it's the core and foundation of PP. Over in the UK, a racist woman with the same initials named Mary Stopes started a similar project, also with the idea of keeping the Negro in check. What an amazing coincidence. It's from Leviticus. It says, "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord." It's from Leviticus. Imagine the poor liberal jackass, I say that charitably, who claims to be against racism and supports BL plus M, but at the same time supports PP in the US and Mary Stopes International in the UK, two organizations created by avowed racists who called for the murder of unborn children, mostly black babies. Why you would have to be a schizophrenic to pull the juggling act off? You really would. It's from 1 Timothy 4:1 and 2. "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron." Look at that. This is from the Negro Project. "The most dangerous place for an American or African American is in the womb." Or wait, is that from the Negro Project? Yeah, I think it is. It says it underneath the picture there. All right, good article, long article, too long to read tonight, but it's from nowtheendbegins.com. Abortion providers in both America and England are scrubbing the names of their female founders to hide a hideous past of racism and eugenics. Let's save that one. It's a good one. Lawyer for President Trump, Sidney Powell, says we're planning to overturn the results of the election in multiple states. I showed you a video of her already. Exodus Cry responds after Melissa McCarthy withdraws support over, quote, homophobic and, quote, anti-choice views. America's favorite comedian. I mean, has anything she's ever in been funny? Do you know I actually met her when I worked out in Hollywood? This is really, really random stuff here. I worked in Hollywood for years, mostly in reality television as a production assistant. And then eventually I had more important jobs there. Like at one point on several shows, I would actually stay the night with the cast of the show from 9 at night to 9 in the morning, wherever we had them all housed. And I was the guy that kept an eye on them, made sure there was no drugs in the house or, drinking or any crow. Well, they could drink on different shows depending. But anyway, it was different with every show. But I was essentially a talent wrangler. I got to do that for a long time. I also worked at the MTV Music and Video Awards and things like this. See, even this stuff, I'll say people have written me and they think I'm a bad guy because I've done all this. And if you've heard my story, I've explained it in the past, but I really woke up out there. That's what happened. I went to film school, moved to New York City for about a year, worked with Fangoria and a little bit of trauma team stuff. It's all horror kind of things. And then I moved to LA and got an agent. So I was shopping scripts and things. I was writing TV shows, movies. And I was working in production, did a lot of different shows, but I wound up getting on the MTV Movie and Video Awards years ago. I do both their shows, the music videos and the movies. And I was a PA behind the scenes. I would escort people on the red carpet to where they had to go and just all kinds of stuff. I did all kinds of different jobs. But through that connection with MTV, I wound up getting a job where Melissa McCarthy, and it took me a while to realize this years ago. I was like, wow, that was her. Melissa McCarthy was playing a character. It was me and like 6 other people, different camera people. And I can't remember what I was doing on that. Probably just carrying equipment and helping out or whatever. But she would wear this, like, it looked like a little boy Dutch wig, like a blonde wig with a straight bangs and then kind of down on the sides and over the ears and then a bowl cut. you know, kind of little Dutch boy look. She had a little blonde wig she had put on like that. And it was a reality show. And we'd follow her around Hollywood, places like Pink's, it's a hot dog place, and it's all kinds of places, film her in public. And all she was doing was acting retarded. That's all she was doing, was acting like that with that weird wig on in public and trying to freak people out. So the show never got picked up, but we shot several episodes. I remember that from a long time ago. But so that's my connection with this weirdo. She was very nice back then, and you know, we even met her husband. She's been married to the same guy for years. He would actually show up on the set, you know, sometimes. But again, guys, I've had people, oh, are you bad because you... No, man. I mean, man, there's a lot of great people I met out there. And then I wasn't some high roller, you know. I was just trying to make my way through for years out there working in production. I did get to do a lot of cool shows and stuff, but, you know, trying to sell scripts, trying to sell movies. I mean, I was trying to make it. And then I woke up to this stuff, and that's when I made the first scariest movie ever made when I was still living in Los Angeles. It was like back in 2007. So that's when I first woke up, and that completely changed what I thought my dream was. And it changed everything, because since I made that movie, I've been doing what I've been doing now for 14 years. I've got all these videos and shows and the new movie. I mean, I've stayed productive, you know. But it changed my life. It changed the trajectory of my life. But I was never around Satanists out there. I did have a couple producers trying to ask me about being a Freemason. It's another thing that kind of woke me up to some of this stuff, because they would always tell me that that's where, you know, a lot of the, you know, well-known people in Hollywood were going, and you could make connections and da-da-da. But even back then, I really didn't know much about what that was, and I thought it was just some weird religious thing, because I knew my granddads from small towns, Oklahoma, had both been Freemasons too. But those are different Masons than the ones that run Hollywood or run Washington or anything else in the world. And Albert Pike told us that in Morals and Dogma, straight up. You know, there is a difference. There's different levels. But that was my only thing with that. Like I said, I never saw, you know, demonic stuff or S&M parties, or there's nothing like that stuff, man. I never saw that. But I wasn't on that level, you know. Many people are rallying around the Christian anti-sex trafficking organization Exodus Cry after actress Melissa McCarthy withdrew support from it over what liberal critics described as its homophobic and anti-choice views. HBO and Melissa McCarthy dropped us from their 20 Days of Kindness campaign after a hit piece came out about us with false info. But many people began to post, "I support everything Exodus Cry stands for," the organization tweeted. Exodus Cry was originally listed as a recipient of McCarthy's 20 Days of Kindness campaign in partnership with HBO Max as part of an effort to promote their new movie Superintelligence. McCarthy, who is well known for starring in films such as Bridesmaids, The Heat, and Spy, announced last week that they were giving $20,000 to 20 different charities. Charities that have received $20,000 checks so far include Girls Who Code, which aims to educate young women to ensure they have a place in technology; Team Rubicon, which trains veterans to respond to disasters around the world and help communities recover and rebuild; and the Trevor Project, a suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for L and all the letters. Other charities slated to receive $20,000 checks include PP and the Human Rights Campaign. Exodus Cry was removed from the list after the Daily Beast published an article labeling the charity as an anti-abortion group hell-bent on killing the sex industry. Daily Beast. Isn't that Little Ben's website? Daily Beast reporter Tarpley Hitt described Exodus Cry as a conservative evangelical organization whose founder has called abortion a holocaust and homosexuality an unspeakable offense to God that is dedicated to abolishing the commercial sex industry. McCarthy quickly received backlash for the plans to support Exodus Cry, with Twitter users, because Twitter is so toxic, with Twitter users responding to her daily tweets promoting the recipients of the $20,000 checks by hitting the actress for associating with a, quote, homophobic and, quote, anti-choice group. McCarthy took to Twitter Friday to address the concerns about Exodus Cry. She said, "It's come to our attention that our 20 Days of Kindness had one in there that there's no way to say it. We blew it. We made a mistake, and we backed a charity that, upon proper vetting, stands for everything that we do not. I want to thank everyone on social media who said, what are you doing? Are you sure you want to back this? Because the answer is no, we do not. We have pulled it. We are so incredibly grateful for you ringing the bell and helping us be better. We're sorry for our mistake. Oh boy, are we sorry for it, she added. And yes, of course, they're still going to support PP, right? There you go. World's first Christian airline eyes 2021 launch aims to transport missionaries worldwide. A nonprofit ministry is set to launch the first ever Christian airline next year, providing a source of travel for missionaries seeking to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ across the globe. Judah One, currently based out of Shreveport Regional Airport in Shreveport, Louisiana, has already carried small groups of missionaries to disaster areas and mission fields in its capacity as a private airline. But starting next year, Judah One will go from being private, which is what we are now, to an actual airline standard. When this happens, Judah One will have a Federal Aviation Administration certification, putting it in the same league as well-known airlines such as Delta. While the ministry currently deploys smaller aircraft for small teams of missionaries, the airline is planning to acquire large planes that can fly hundreds of people by the end of 2021. Justin Bieber says his intention is to lead people to God, performs Holy at People's Choice Awards. Is this just another Kanye West situation? What do you think? Or not? Remember, he was a big Carl Lentz fan, Hillsong, and you saw the story here in the last show about how he came out and got busted cheating on his wife. No surprise, and there's pictures of him, that preacher or the pastor from Hillsong, walking around with no shirt on, his pants hanging down just above his wiener with Justin Bieber. Have you seen that? It's like, dude, come on, man. Pull up your pants first off, son, and throw a shirt on while you're at it. Anyway, there was a whole love story going on there for a while with Justin Bieber loving on his pastor, Carl Lentz. And so I don't know. On the other hand, you don't want to try to judge someone's faith or how true they are with the Lord, because we don't know. I'm not Justin Bieber. You're not Justin Bieber. We don't know what that kind of life has been, all the things he's had to go through. Obviously, he's got a lot of videos with so-called Illuminati satanic stuff filled in it, so we know he's aware of all this. Is it possible they can change and turn to Christ? Sure. Or, will they be used to seem like they're turning for Christ and then mislead people? It's always the question. But it's not cool to slander and just try to judge someone without actually walking in their shoes or knowing where their head's at. I don't know. I would like to think he's authentic and real about his faith, at least, maybe. But then again, we judge a tree by its fruit, and we'll see how this turns out. Kanye West came out with all this stuff, remember, a while back, preaching and talking about Jesus. And then he goes to little Joel Osteen's church, and he performs in the middle of an all-seeing eye. Justin Bieber shared several faith-inspired posts leading up to his People's Choice Awards performance of his single Holy, and revealed he wishes to lead people to God. All my life, I felt in my heart I was supposed to entertain. I had been given these abilities that I wanted to showcase. My heart as I get older is to ask God to refine my heart, to make sure my intention remains pure, Bieber wrote on Sunday on Instagram, along with a video of rehearsal footage of him singing Holy. My intention is to inspire, uplift, empower, and lead people to know and see the love of God, he continued, to remind people of the joy and wonder that is all around us. I don't know if he's talking about Jesus, though, Later that evening, Bieber performed Lonely and Holy at the People's Choice Awards while singing his love song Holy, which is filled with Christian references. Bieber had several illuminated crosses across the stage. Illuminated, of course. Crosses, nice. I guess that's always a question. Which God are some of these people leading us to? Right? That's why, for me, I need to hear them talking about Jesus. But that's just me. Fox News fires Diamond and Silk shortly after they refuse $150,000 to turn on Trump. And that's straight from the ladies themselves. These two ladies really made a name for themselves. They had a YouTube channel, have had one for years. They really liked Trump, supported him. You see here, they actually went to the White House. And I think there were, well, let's just read some of the article. How about that? The sensational duo of Diamond and Silk, whose real names are Livette Diamond Hardaway and Rochelle Silk Richardson, have written a book titled Uprising, Who the Hell Said You Can't Ditch and Switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk. In the book, they imply that racism is the reason they were fired. All right. Fox News. Fox is 666, so it makes sense. CNN says conservatives joining Twitter alternative Parlay. I think it's pronounced Parlay. It looks like it's Parler, but isn't it Parlay? Anyway, check this out.
Called Parler getting a lot of attention because conservatives are saying they're leaving Twitter and Facebook, going off to Parler because they believe Parler's a safer space for them. What we're seeing is even more of a bunker mentality in right-wing media. And ultimately, that's not good for the country.
No, it's not good. It's a threat to democracy that these people are in echo chambers and they're getting fed a diet of lies, essentially.
And you get what that is, right? So, I mean, it's a Mark Dice now that I look at it. He's obviously making fun of Brian Stelter's voice. But you see what they're saying? Oh, no, they better not be going to all these other places and little echo chambers, and they're just trying to extinguish the truth. And this is legacy media we're seeing here. Old media dying before your eyes. We saw that story earlier about CNN's up for sale. Should be. Pope Francis' Instagram account caught liking racy model's sexy schoolgirl photo. Oh, here's this. If there's any kids in the audience, be careful. This is kind of an adult one, but anyway, that's it. And I guess Pope Francis liked it. Okay, not surprised. Oh, there it is. Same story. Look at this, man. This happens all the time, guys. It's not even funny. This is how crazy the censorship is. I see it right here on the front lines. You know, throughout the week when I'm working on videos and things or a show, get a show together, I'm always collecting news bits or articles I find interesting or footage, and that's what these shows are. And then during the day of the show in the morning, I'll go through and I'll just get all the ones from the bookmarks I want, put them together for the show in the morning, and just leave it there until the night, till the show starts. So this happens almost every week. I'll line up a YouTube video or a Twitter or a tweet, and by the time we get to the show, that account is already, look, well, it says this account under limits who can view their tweets. Maybe that's something different, but it wasn't up there earlier. There was something I had to show you. But a lot of times the account's actually deleted. Same on YouTube, it's deleted. I mean, it happens fast. It's crazy. As America readies for another lockdown, China packs 70,000 people into stadium without masks. You gotta love it, man. This is pretty crazy footage. Guy spits on Trump supporter and watch what happens. This is actually pretty funny. Get out of here, ad.
All that hate. It's unfortunate that it happened, but man, that is. Oh, and now you got the cops. Oh.
I love that. Oh, and now you got the cops here. Look what you've done. But in the very beginning, the guy was spitting at the guy holding that Trump flag. Total media blackout as Aunt Farta launches attacks on MAGA rally goers in D.C. Man, it's a bunch of footage I can't show you on YouTube. I just don't want to take the chance. But if you want to, you can just look up some footage of some of the fights that took place at that big million MAGA rally they had recently in D.C. Because you're not going to see it in the mainstream at all. But it's all Aunt Farta and BL plus M attacking people. A couple people got knocked out, seriously injured. Man, there's some scary stuff out there. There's footage of this couple just walking, a Trump couple, young couple, probably early 20s, getting harassed and people throwing water on them or whatever it is, some kind of unknown liquid. Girls screaming and crying. Biden transition official believes the First Amendment has a design flaw. His remedy is to curb free speech. So we already see that trend coming. Remember, it's a spirit. It's in some of these people. Look, that guy looks evil, doesn't he? To me, he does. I know you're not supposed to judge how they look, but sometimes you can tell a lot by their fruit. If they're doing evil things, they look evil. CNN and MSNBC blame Trump supporters for all the violence at the Million MAGA March. So that's what the mainstream will tell you, right? That's what mainstream's going to give you. Watch out for those Trump supporters. Google and Oracle to monitor Americans who get warp speed's COVID-19 vax scheme for up to 2 years. Long article. I've covered some of this in the video I'm doing, so that'll be up in a couple days. But I'm saying, man, Google's on this. Really? Come on. Google and Oracle to monitor Americans who get warp speed's vax scheme for up to 2 years. Chris Pratt's brother-in-law rips leftist trolls who deemed him worst Hollywood Chris. After leftist trolls declared him the worst Hollywood Chris due to his religious beliefs, Chris Pratt's brother-in-law, Patrick Schwarzenegger, has come to his defense, denouncing those who unfairly characterized him. Speaking with Variety, Schwarzenegger said that Twitter is essentially a junkyard where people attack each other for whatever reason. It's crazy. Twitter is a junkyard, right? I mean, every day there's something. People are calling out this person or that person, or let's get mad at this person, Schwarzenegger said. He cited his dad, Arnold Schwarzenegger, as a man who stood up to trolls and who never let the opinions of others mess up his drive. My dad was always adamant about not letting anybody else's opinions mess with his drive or where he wanted to go. No matter what you're doing in life, there's always going to be people hating on you and waiting for you to fail or wanting you to fail. People are so focused on putting other people down to make themselves feel better. He said, all right, we get all that. It was cool. A lot of people came out in support of Chris Pratt. These crazy Hollywood libs. There you go. Just sharing. Hypocritical California lawmakers attend conference in Maui, Hawaii. I lived in Maui, Hawaii for 2 years. I was in the Coast Guard out there. While common folks suffer through lockdowns. Maui is beautiful. But there you go again, guys. It's rules for them, or rules for us, not for them, right? Singer Morrissey, dropped by record label, claims reason is diversity. British rock legend Morrissey has been unceremoniously dumped. Used to be with the band The Smiths, if you didn't know that. Has been unceremoniously dumped by his record label, with the singer claiming the company has new plans for diversity instead of continuing to work with him. Morrissey has more recently been vocal in his opposition to woke political correctness and his voiced support for issues like Brexit, much to the annoyance of leftists. There's little doubt that the move by BMG Records, which is for the most part owned by Sony Corporation, is a response to Morrissey's political views. Yep, most likely. Good old Morrissey. Study warns that new work from home trend is making people more racist. All right, great. Our C-19 police state wants to take Thanksgiving and Christmas away from you too. Just want to share that out there because I know most of y'all are seeing this. That's definitely a trend I'm seeing in the news and a lot of the mainstream type sources I'll look at off and on throughout the week. But there's all these pushes for no Thanksgiving and no Christmas. And this is part of that psychological operation. I believe. We're still celebrating. Kind of. My parents are kind of freaking out about some of this stuff. But I'll say I'm still celebrating because I think my sister's going to make Thanksgiving, but we have to go to her house and pick it up to go. Right? I mean, this is like really what we're actually having to do. But luckily, I got a call from a friend this week, and they're having a Thanksgiving dinner, and with a bunch of other friends will be there. So that'll be the one I can really kind of go and celebrate. Go pick up to go from the sister, hang out with mom and dad, eat the meal, and then, go to the friend's house. That'll be good. Asian kids officially kicked out of students of color category by Washington School District. You see here now they put white with Asian students, and then there's students of color. Man, here's some great. We'll save that for the end. Mardi Gras parades will not be permitted in 2021. That's crazy. So Mardi Gras is canceled. Fox News feels the heat as Morning Joe beats Fox and Friends for the first time in 20 years. People are dumping Fox News so fast. You never turn on your base, man. You don't turn on your base. Fox News had a base of conservative, Christian, Republican type folk for years. That even, they'd let Fox News get a lot of passes on things, but they'd still support them because they really felt, they were part of that paradigm and really felt, oh, you're the ones telling us the truth. And now that's all been exposed. Obviously, a lot of us have seen it for a long time, but now it's so obvious to people, and it's breaking people. People who are part of the system are waking up quickly because the system's breaking down and it's breaking them. So there you go. Fox News is in deep dookie. Anthony Fauci declares that Christmas may be canceled because he needs to control what you do. But yeah, of course. Told you. Trying to cancel the holidays. It's part of a psyop. This was in Denmark. There were 9 days of protests over a new law that would be able to define groups of people who must be vaccinated. People who refuse the above can be coerced through physical detainment with police allowed to assist. And all these people went out there and they fought against it. I think this lady explains it right here.
A quick update, guys. They've thrown the epidemic law and the ban. Yes! Denmark did it. I don't know if you can see here, but that's the way it looks. This is so amazing, guys. Share the good news. Please, share. Denmark has thrown the epidemic law down the drain. Yes. I'm so happy I can't even speak. I'm crying. This is such a relief. And for you who are tuning in, who doesn't know anything of what has been happening, Denmark has had an epidemic law that was completely insane. They were trying to impose on its people, and we have been fighting here for over a week with pots and pans demonstration outside, where everyone is sitting in the Danish parliament, and finally we gotten through to them. Today was the day where it was supposed to be decided if this law went through or not. I'm sorry, I'm holding my phone here and I'm shaking because I'm just so happy. This is such a relief. If that law had been going through, Denmark would have been a dictatorship, and it would have been so awful. There would have been forced vaccinations, forced medications, all bad things you could ever imagine. And if you're interested in finding out more, go and look at my other lives and you can see. I just wanted to share the good news with you guys, and I wanted to thank you for all your support, and you have been so amazing sharing everything, and the fight is not over. I can tell you that. Not here, not anywhere in the world, but we will continue to support each other, and now we know how to do it, right? Denmark showed the way.
Don't you love that? That's so great. I wanted to share that because it goes to show that the people still have a voice. The people can rise up. You can peacefully, truly peacefully protest. Not what our media calls peaceful protests. They call everything a peaceful protest, even when the people on the left, Aunt Farta and BL+M, are hurting people, even killing people, setting buildings on fire. It's peaceful protest. You see what happens when the good people stand up and say no? Like she said, they fought off a dictatorship for now. They didn't win the war, they won the battle, and that's awesome. So see what we can do if we all band together in one way or another. Pray for it. We'll see how the future turns out. But maybe you're in an area where you can get some people together, and you'll need to someday do something like this. Just bang pots and pans out there for a week straight and tell them we're not going to have it. Don't do this. I don't know. But that's great news. There's an application you can get that lets you spy on your neighbors through your phone. This is an older story, but I just discovered it. If you've got a smartphone, you've got a PI in your pocket. Slammed with apartment showings and paperwork, real estate broker Kyle Haas had no time to head to the Lower East Side and check on a condo building's construction progress for a client looking to move. So he hired someone to beam live video footage of the building from the street directly to his phone using a new app called Mole, M-O-L-E, like a CIA mole. You gotta love it. This is a time mole, Dominion. This is a time saver for me, a money saver as well. He said, all right, we get it. Just more of that kind of stuff. See something, say something. All right, this is really crazy stuff. I got a few videos to show. Giant crocodiles invade flooded streets of Tabasco, Mexico. Whew, man. This one's pretty crazy, but the next one is just off the charts nuts.
Buenas noches, señores. Vean ustedes nada más este enorme ejemplar que anda visitándonos aquí en la colonia Gaviotas Norte, en la calle Reforma Agraria, en el sector Abanico. Como pueden ustedes apreciar en las imágenes, pues este enorme ejemplar anda paseando por las calles de Gaviotas. Pues este es un más que nada un informe para la ciudadanía, para que tengan mucho cuidado. Aquellos que se animan a salir a las calles en busca de víveres o salir de sus domicilios, pues se cuiden mucho porque ya estos ejemplares andan pues nadando en las calles de Gaviotas.
Okay, now.
Buenas noches, señores.
Wait.
Vean ustedes.
There's 3 videos. Okay, this isn't the one I was telling you about. That's coming up next. So this is pretty crazy too. That's about all you see on that one. But okay, check this out. Imagine just walking along in the park and then seeing this.
I love it. I love it.
God, those things are so scary. All right, man. Hey, that's actually it. That's actually it for the stories for tonight's show. So let's jump over here to the chat room real quick, like. Put a little background on here. There we go. Something a little wacky.
Nice.
And just say hi, man. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed the show. Be doing another KJ's What Happened. What is this? So Friday. Should be Friday. Depending on the amount of stories, if I have enough. If not, I may just do a live show where, I put the link in and you guys come in and we talk. I need to do another one of those here soon. Got a brand new video almost done. It'll be coming up on YouTube, hopefully over the next few days. Also, as I mentioned earlier, if you missed this, my last 4 or 5 videos have been off YouTube. So use the links below to check them out. You can see them on my website. You can see them on some of them on BitChute. You can see them on the scariestmovieever.tv as well. I also uploaded the Scariest Movie Ever 2020 to the scariestmovieever.tv. Got a link below for emergency food supplies. If you're interested in getting some kind of preparation together, it's through My Patriot Supply. It's one of the best ones out there. The companies, lots of people use it. Check it out if you're interested. Yeah, my Discord as well, guys. If you're enjoying the chat tonight and having a good time, want to keep your conversations going, whatever it be, check the link below. Click the Discord link. Don't let the expired link message fool you. Press the blue button anyway. Look to your left-hand screen, click chat room, and you'll be in there. That's it. Jump in and just join the chat, man. Hang out and talk. You guys can choose separate rooms and even have voice chats if you like. And I think that's about it, man. That's it. Also, big shout out to Patreon, PayPal supporters. As always, guys, thank you so very much. Big shout out to the moderators as well. Thank you, guys. And I want to end just on a short prayer, if you don't mind, guys. So I'll just say, Heavenly Father, thanks so much for the show. Thanks once again for providing a place where we can all meet up and hang out and chat and talk about these things and really await your return. Help us all, please, to keep this world and everything happening in context and to not lose our joy and to not operate through fear at all through any of this stuff, knowing that we're conquerors through Christ. And just be with us all, Lord, I pray, because these are crazy times. We know that. So thank you, and I love you. And in Jesus' name I pray. All right, guys. Hey, man, that's it for tonight. You guys have a good Tuesday night. Have a good rest of your week. I should have a new video on YouTube over the next few days and have another live show on Friday, okay? So until then, you guys take care. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you a little later.